Hello and welcome back to Emma's Crafty Space. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I am going to be featuring a card kit from our new annual catalogue, and this one is called Gorgeous Posies. In the kit there is 4 different designs of cards, and you get 4 of each design, which is actually quite a good price whenever you think that you're getting 16 cards for £30. It has everything you need in this gorgeous box here. And if you look in this photograph here in the catalogue, you'll see everything that the kit includes. Now, this isn't an inclusive kit in that you need to add something to it. So for this one, you need to add a stamp set, and you will also need these inks here. So the inks that they're telling you need is Blackberry Bliss, Blushing Bride, Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. They're also recommending that you have your Dimensionals, glue dots and the new Stampin' Seal glue tool. So we'll just get started with it, and I'm going to open up the box and show you what all is in it. Okay, so this is the absolutely gorgeous box. So you can see all the colours that they've said that we use in this is featured in the box. So I'm just going to turn it around, and you can see this is just a wee closure. It's a lovely little sturdy box. I absolutely love the tins and boxes from Stampin Up. So then whenever you open it, then you have everything that you need to make this card kit, other than obviously the stamp set and the ink pads. So I have already made one of each card. I actually brought this camping with me a couple of weeks ago in the caravan, and it was a real wet morning, and I just sat and made one of each card. So I'm going to maybe just make one of each in this tutorial so that you can see just how easy they are. They are absolutely beautiful. Even the card bases on their own are really lovely. So I'll just put these to one side, and we'll just look more into this box. So you have all your little cutouts. So you can see them here. These are your labels and your tags, and they just pop out of that. They're laser cut, so there's like a nice wee kind of like burnt detail to them. So if you look on that side, it's completely white. On that side, you can just see that there is like a little discoloration of the paper, but I actually really like that. And you've got circles, and you've got more shapes and longer tags. So that's a sheet that I have, and all I have actually broken too. Okay, so there's plenty of those, and then we have our beautiful card bases and the envelopes as well. So they're in the nice in keeping with them as well. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. So this wee box, it's actually really nice to have something then to store your cards in. So that is one of the card fronts. So I'll leave that to the side, and we'll go through each one individually. There's another one. There's one, and you can see there's just a lovely gold foil that is mixed in through them. Just making sure I'm getting one of each here. And that's the last one. So you can see them, they are really, really pretty. So there's a Blushing Bride base. I think that's Highland Heather, soft sea foam. I'm just wondering what other colours there is. Oh, I need 2 Blushing Bride bases for the cards that we're making up. So, Stampin' Up are very good in that they give you quite a detailed explanation of their card kits. Sorry, there's also these wee embellishments too. So you've got your twine, and you've got like a nice ribbon with a wee gold flecking through it as well. As I said, they give you quite a detailed explanation and instructions on how to build your cards in your kits. So whenever you first open your instructions, it'll give you like a key on what the steps are. So step 1, stamp with Blackberry Bliss. 2 is Blushing Bride. So it is actually very good. And then whenever you actually go to the pictures of each one, it'll give you like the numbers. So number 5, let's see what number 5 is. That is a tier using Stampin Dimensionals. So it actually tells you what glue medium to use as well, which it just makes it so much easier. So we'll make a wee start with this card first. So I'm just going to get my card bases and fronts that I need for it. I've already layered up my sentiments for it just to speed me along here. So I'll just leave that so it's handy. So basically I'm going to stick this down to the card base using the Stampin' Seal. So this is our new replacement for the snail. I find that you do have to kind of give it that wee check, or kind of score to the left or right, just to get it to cut off from where it's finished, so that you can easily just pick it up again and go again with it. I was finding it was like just staying stuck down in here, and I was constantly having to manually feed it through, but I just find just by kind of just giving it that wee dash at the end of each roll, that does actually help with that. So I need a circle. So I'm going to pick out a circle, and then, well, I don't know what colour of ink that is. Number 4 is stamped with Highland Heather. So, and this is going to say get well soon. I don't think we'd ever not have enough get well soon cards, especially at the moment. So just stamp that straight down. Okay. So I'm just having a look here at what the little punch outs that I need for it. So it's then a pink one. And again, they all have that lovely gold foil in the center of them, and I need leaves as well. So you can see this wee one here is a double leaf. So that is there, and then this wee one here. Just having a look, because there is different sizes of the leaves, so I'm just going to go with that one. Okay, I also need a bit of ribbon in this one. Now this can be a wee bit fiddly, so if you find that just a bit too much and you can't really cope with it, just play about with it until you get it the way you want it to be. I find it a bit easier if you kind of work with it back to front. So that is basically going to sit there like that, and you're just going to wrap it on itself and then take it back out like that. So just play about with it. Don't be getting yourself all worked up over it, because it is not worth it. It's not meant to be stressful. So get well soon. I'm just going to put a glue dot down here so that I can get the first piece of ribbon down. I'm just going to set that there. And then I'm going to add another glue dot to maybe here, and it's going to be half on the ribbon and half on the tag, if I can get it to come off the pokey tool. And it just means then that you can then fold that back on itself, and that's going to hold it in place. It also means that you're not, it'll hold it in place, and you can kind of get a burn of where you want to position it. Another wee glue dot. Maybe here, and just S that back out. Okay, and then you are going to cut your ribbon. Now that is completely squinty, so just take that off, and it should hold it kind of in place because you've kept it half on the tag. So just set that back down. We don't always get it right the first time, but it's always easily fixed. So you're just going to trim that off as well. Okay. And then we are going to look back at our picture, and we're just going to kind of have a look at it and see what position you want it in. I'm going to add dimensionals to mine, and again I'm going to put it some on the car, on the piece of this, or again I'm going to put some on the circle, and it'll hold that ribbon in place. This one I can't, because obviously the ribbon is down as far as the little cutout holes. Just peel off your paper and just find where you want that positioned, and just set it down. Okay, so that is your tag on. So now I'm going to add my little flower, but I'm actually going to stick the leaves onto it first. So again, a glue dot. It's just like that. and then it had said to put it on a dimensional. So that is your first card done. Obviously I have completely followed the instructions on this. It is entirely up to you if you want to kind of go a wee bit further, and you could add maybe a little bow, a little twine bow, or you could add a couple of little rhinestones in. You just need to be careful. Obviously I'm a bit funny about putting gold and silver together, so you want something that's going to be sympathetic. But if I just tilt that to the light, you can just see where all the gold foil is, and it just really is really pretty and girly, I suppose. And again, then you could go in and stamp a different sentiment into the inside. It is entirely up to you how you go for that one. So the next one has this beautiful, I think it's soft seafoam card base. So we'll stick this down. So this is like that opening of a card. So again, we are going to glue down our card front. Remember, if you are using this, just do your little checks at the end, and it will be easier then whenever you're using it. So stick this straight down. Again, if you wanted to, you could raise this piece up so that it's just giving the card a bit more dimension. Okay, so this one, it's asking for this big long tag to be used. I think it's stamped in Gorgeous Grape, maybe. Just going to check number 3. Yep, Gorgeous Grape. So, Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to use my grid paper as a guide to make sure that it's straight. Close this up in case I set another card into it. Okay, so set that onto your grid paper just so you know you're definitely getting that in a nice straight line. And this is wishing you comfort and peace at this time. Okay, just straight down. There. That is it done. Okay, so it wants, this design wants a little piece of ribbon to roll along the bottom. Just looking at this, the gradient on that's a bit steep, I think, so I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. Okay, so basically you're just going to like be sticking that across like that. So I'm going to run my seal across the bottom. Make sure you're doing the bottom of the tag. And you want to bring your ribbon up and just set that straight down onto it. So I'm just having a look to see how far they've come down onto the ribbon. So they're just above the bottom line of that gold foil. Okay, and then we are going to trim that. Okay, and that is just going to, so I'm just going to have a wee look here to see what they have layered that up with, if it's been dimensionals or if it's been stuck flat. So that's your ribbon, which is saying what length to cut it. Number 5 is it here using Stampin' Dimensionals, so this is going to be getting raised. So again, you don't need to go mad with your Stampin' Dimensionals, you just couple across it. Obviously it's a larger tag, so you are going to need one in the middle just to support it so it doesn't dip over time and it's kept up. Okay, so it's entirely up to you how far down, but if I'm going by the pattern, so it's just above these two little gold dots in the center of that flower. Just make sure you're putting it on straight. And that is that nearly done. So in this one we need the little circle flowers. So it's a purple one and a pink one. And then some leaves as well. There's my purple, pink. And then the leaves look quite big in this. So maybe that one and that one. Okay, so I'm going to layer these on top of each other, but I'm going to put a dimensional in between them. Again, it's these are you can make these your own. You don't have to always follow completely. So I've just put like a little dimensional in there just to give them a bit of like definition between the two layers of flowers. And then I'm going to put the leaf in behind, so glue dot. This is a good kit because you don't really need scissors in it other than for cutting your ribbon. So if you were sitting in an airport and you've got all your glues are dry, because it's glue dots and dimensionals, so you don't need to worry about trying to get through security with wet glue and things like that, because it is all dry glue rather than liquids. So I am just doing that. And then it's up to you what way you want to. I'm going to do that in a dimensional as well, so it's giving me plenty. I'm going to set that onto the card directly. That just means then I'm not going to be hitting the edge of that label. So just set that down there. Okay, and that is it, completely secure. So at this one, it's saying I need a little bit of a little twine bow as well. So it's not absolutely lovely. There's a nice wee sheen off it. Not like sparkly sheen, but it's just, there's a nice like shininess to it. Okay. Little bow. Make him a bit smaller. You just play about with them. Bring your legs down so you know you're getting them both the same length. Okay. So you can have a wee look at it. For the little twine bows, I always just use a glue dot, but I actually fold the glue dot in half, and it means then you don't have this big sticky mess. And then lift that. Use your pokey tool just for placing it. And then just have a wee play about with it and manipulate it into the whatever shape you want it to be. Again, that is another one done. I'll just bring it up closer so you can see that nice gold foil on it. Pretty. Okay, we're halfway through. So this one is this beautiful framed one, and it is on a purple base as well. So again, I'm just going to stick this straight down. Nearly stuck that down upside down there. So again, just stick it straight down to your base. Like, look at those colours, it is just so lovely. Okay, and for this one, it's this little size here. I'm just going to see what colour the ink is. So this is Blackberry Bliss. This one's going to get stamped in. So again, line that up to your grid paper. And this one is going to say, for a very kind and thoughtful friend. Again, just close up your ink pads as you go. Okay, again, use your grid paper just to make sure you're straight. You can always stamp on the back of the label if you do make a mistake, but you only get 2 goes at it. So just try your very best just to take your time, don't rush it. Okay, again, in this one, you can see the ribbons running along the back of that, but it actually looks like it's the label is layered up off the ribbon. So just bring your ribbon to it, and you can then just kind of decide what way you're going to do it. Okay, now this end of the ribbon is going to be covered by a cluster of flowers, so that's why I haven't been too fussy about what way I'm cutting it. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals across here. This is what's going to hold it to the ribbon. Okay, and just stick that down onto your ribbon. Again, just down to nearly where the gold is. Just try and make sure your gold line's straight as well, because obviously with it being ribbon, it can get pulled out and a wee bit distorted out of shape. So I'm going to now go along here with the bigger dimensionals and sticking it half on the ribbon and half on the card. I mean, then it's giving it a good foundation then to stick it to the base of the card. So just below the center of that purple flower, I think. Okay, just put that down. Now, as I say, don't be worrying about this side, because if you look on the pattern, that you can't actually see that. So flowers this time are going to be purple, and a leaf, and one of these small leaves, I think. Okay, now they have, Stampin' Up have done a bow in between, behind the label, but I want my bow sitting up on top, so I'm changing that up a wee bit. So again, your glue dots, didn't pick it up, so now, so there. Again, glue dots to pick that up. Okay, and we're going to do a dimensional on this one. Again, I'm going to do it down here. And it's so that I can judge where, because you don't want to be going too far off the edge of your card, because you'll struggle getting it in and out of the envelope, and it'll just get caught and be kind of catching all the time. We're going to do another wee twine bow. Okay, cut your legs at the same length. The twine, when it's been on a spool, can be a wee bit kind of uncontrollable and a bit unpredictable, because it's kind of wound around that spool. So sometimes you just have to manipulate it and play about with it. So get that stuck. It's meant to be on this pokey tool, not my finger. It really is up to you where you place this. I might do mine in there. Okay, and again, just manipulate it once you get it under the card. That is number 3 done. So you can see how quickly I'm rattling through these. It really is a great, all the kits are fantastic if you want them, especially for someone who's starting. They're a wee bit kind of put off by maybe the prospect of die cutting. This is already done for you, so that it really is quite good for a beginner. Obviously, the only thing really difficult that I could envisage in this is trying to get your stamping straight. But if you've got something like grid paper and you've lined your blocks up properly, that shouldn't be too hard. Stampin' Up do make it very easy, especially with these cling stamp sets, because you can kind of see where everything's going, but you do need to take your time with lining up your blocks correctly. But you use your grid paper. I used to think that grid papers were only for demonstrators to do classes or events with, but actually they're quite invaluable for anything really, because you can use it for stamping off. You're using it to keep your work surface clean. I use the inches around the edges of my grid paper and the centimeters around the edges just for quick measurements, but then also for lining things up. It is a very valuable tool, I feel. Okay, back to the card. So this is our last one, and this is the little tag we're using for that. Another really lovely one, with especially those wee details around the edges of them. So this one is going to be stamped in Blushing Bride. I'm going to say celebrate your day, because celebrate your day, I suppose the mind automatically goes to, oh, it's a wedding, but it doesn't necessarily. It could be your birthday, it could be your anniversary, it could be starting a new job, you're celebrating that. So it really can be anything. So again, I was using my grid paper there just to make sure that it was pressing that down at the right time in the right place. And ribbon again. Obviously try not to use your Stampin' Snips for cutting ribbon because it does blunt them. Again, you can see from this that this end is completely covered, so don't be worrying too much about it. You just want to have enough to get into that corner, so you don't want to be wasting the ribbon either. I would be quite savvy with my stuff. I don't like too much wastage. So again, this tag is layered up, it's not stuck flush to the ribbon. So bring this up, and again I'm going not completely down to that gold line, but not too far off it. And again, just make sure it's not getting manipulated into shape. You know, you want that to be straight. So again, I'm going to do this along here. And then we will fix it down to the card. Not to get stuck into your fingers. So I'm going to go to the position that they have it, so you can see this little cluster of gold foil here in the middle. So they are just above that, and if you look over here, I'm just going to maybe have to tidy that up, but that's easy done later on. Okay, again, just making it up isn't quite straight, so I'm just going to straighten that up and then straighten the tag. As I say, we don't all get it right first time, but it is easily fixed. And I suppose it's about how you come back from that and you don't see yourself as a failure, because everything in crafting really can be fixed. Because like even this ribbon just isn't the way I want it to be. But again, it's just about taking your time and being able to fix it. Okay, so for this one, I need a pink circle and a little purple. They're nearly like a wee purple daisy. Okay. And I need a big leaf and a small leaf. Okay, so these two, again, I'm not going to stick that. They're stuck flush to each other. I'm going to put a little dimensional in there and stick them separate. Just again, just so there's an extra little layer there. And then glue dots. I'm the world's, well, probably not the world's messiest crafter, but it gets to the stage where I can't even find anything that I've set down on the table. Sometimes I'm just sitting there looking at it the whole time. I'm sure there is plenty of other crafters out there in the same boat. And every time before I start to do this, I say, right, I'm going to set it back down in the same place, and then I'm not looking around the table for it, but it never really works out that way. So that is where it is going to stick there. Again, you don't want to be coming too far off the edge of your card. So I'm going to stick it down flush. I'm just going to do it with a couple of glue dots, because we are trying to do it without having wet glue, just to prove a point that it can be done without. Okay, and set it down there. Okay, and again a little purple twine bow. I think it just finishes it, that wee bow. Again, don't be getting stressed over your bows. There's no two bows ever the same in crafting, unless you're going to do it with a fork or with a bow maker. Again, fold your glue dots in half. That's the first one that's actually stayed on the reel since I've done this video. Okay, and we'll set that in there, just nest it in there. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could wind your legs round something really, really thin, and it'll give you that kind of spiral leg like. But again, you can just see that lovely gold foil through them all whenever I help tilt it up to the light. So I'll just lay them all out again so that you can see them, how pretty they all are. Move this out of the way. So that is them all done. And again, they do just fit lovely into this box. Imagine giving someone that box as a gift. I think they'd be really delighted to receive that as a gift to make up themselves, or actually already made for them. So you get the joy of crafting and they get the joy of receiving. So I hope I've explained this well enough, and it is maybe something that you would consider having a go at yourself. I love the card kits. As I say, I bring them camping with me. My mum is a missionary in Romania, and she takes them, works at them in the airports because they are really handy, and everything's cut for you as well. So other than your ribbons, you don't need scissors for anything. So thanks for joining me, and I'll hopefully see you again soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye.